We have incredible wealth and innovation. Twitter, Apple, Uber, Tesla were all founded in California. And yet we have the largest poverty rates in the nation. We're the 8th largest economy in the country, in the world rather, and we have the highest poverty rates in the nation. And so, I grew up in Connecticut, and so just to provide a little bit of perspective, what that means is that about 1 in 5 women in California live in poverty. That's about almost 3.5 million people. That's more than the entire population of the state of Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont combined. So we have a big job to do in California. The poverty rate is especially high, this will come as no surprise to anybody sitting in this room, amongst women, women of color, young people. And so those are that we have to look at the context to set the agenda of how we work. We heard earlier about women make less than white men on average, but in California, that gap is significantly larger for women of color. Black women in California make 64 cents on the dollar for every dollar a white man makes, and Latinas make 44 cents, and that's the biggest wage gap for Latinas in the country. So the other thing I just want to add, briefly, it was really wonderful to hear Valerie Jarrett talk about her Homegirl Cafe, because one of the things that women's foundations can do, and we heard my colleague from New York say this, is that we take the risks. Mm-hmm. And so the Women's Foundation of California was one of the first funders of Homegirl Cafe, and those are the kinds of contributions we can make. And in our case, the other thing that I just want to say about the way that we approach our work in California, and I know that my colleagues around the country do, is that we know that people who are closest to the problems in their communities are the best equipped to find solutions to those problems. And so even though we've awarded by now, since our history, we were founded in 1979, more than $37 million in grants to 1,300 organizations. We know that grant making alone, money alone is not going to do it. So yes, we need research. And we also provide policy training to grassroots women leaders so that they can make the policies that will affect their communities at home.